It's planting day! It's going to be a little less exciting than last video where we're actually cloning existing plants, but this week we're going to be planting some new seeds from scratch. And what we'll do is we'll talk about the method we use to start seeds for hydroponic gardening, and then we'll also talk about why we're starting brand new plants in the middle of July. So roll the intro. So in the last video, we cloned some really interesting plants, specifically the lime trees. So we'll see how those do in a few weeks. This week, we're just going to be starting some more basic seeds. Some garden beans, some habaneros, which died in my garden this year, so we'll try it again. Some parsley. I tried cloning this about a month ago, and this failed miserably. I don't think it clones very well. So we're going to start some from scratch for the hydroponic system. And then some spinach as well. All my spinach died out because of the heat over the summer, so we're going to grow some indoors hydroponically. So this is a pretty straightforward process. What we're going to do here is we're going to take our brick of coconut coir. It's a pH neutral substance, so it's great for starting seeds in for a hydroponic system. They don't get soil, they don't get fertilizer, they don't get any weird pH imbalances. It's just a very neutral, benign environment to start seeds in for a hydroponic system. So let's go ahead and break this open. Now this is actually going to expand to up to 3 gallons. So we clearly don't have enough room here in this little 60-ounce container. So we will break off a few pieces and get it started. This was clearly not the right tool for the job. I made a giant mess. I should have done this outside instead of in front of the computer. This was a fail. All right, let me go get some water. All right, cleaned up the workspace a little bit and I got some water. So let's just add a little bit of this to here to rehydrate this. Oh, that's really cool. Just watch it expand as the water hits it. You can literally see it growing. Let's do this in one of these. Camera focused. It just puffs up. Look at that. It went from this thickness right here to that. And it's not even all the way hydrated. Let's get some on the back side. See how flat that is? So cool. All right, and that's our growing medium. So let's go ahead and prepare these trays here. It's nothing fancy. Just gonna throw some growing medium in each of these. Feels really interesting. It's like a mix between bark and sand and I don't know, like lint from your vacuum cleaner. Like if you had a dog and you vacuum the house and then you went onto the playground and you picked up a bunch of bark and mixed it all together. This is kind of what it feels like. It's really weird. Pack it down lightly, not too much. I want to have a nice loose growing medium for the plants. And the cool thing about this coconut coir is since you're not adding soils or nutrients or fertilizers to it, you can reuse this over and over and over again. So one of these $10 blocks of coconut coir lasts you pretty much indefinitely for your seed starting. You don't really have to buy another one ever again. I've never actually used it, I've just read about it. So this is the first time I'm actually using this growing medium. And so far I like it, it's really cool. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and get the other two prepped up. Okay, so let's get to planting. We have habanero peppers, we have parsley, spinach, and green beans. So we'll start with the green beans. And what I really want here is I want 5 plants for my purpose. 2, 3, 4, 5. But we'll grow a few more just to be safe. So we'll put 2 in here, 2 in here, 2 in there, and 2 in there. That way I can have 3 die and I'll still have enough for my purposes for what I need. Okay, so let's just tuck these down in here. I usually plant beans up to the fingernail level in my soil. This compresses really well, so I can't really brush soil in over top. I have to sprinkle a little more in here. Okay, so there's our 8 bean plants. Now let's go ahead and plant some spinach. And I don't really need that many spinach seeds, so we'll just throw maybe 4 in each of these. And we'll just pick the best one for our hydroponic system. These plants are all to test our hydroponic setup. Yeah, see, that I tried to push them down into the soil, and it just compressed. It just compressed the growing medium. So I'll remember that for next time. You can't really bury the seeds, at least not with your finger. Have to layer more stuff on top of them. So lesson learned. Okay, that one's done. And I guess I didn't really need 3 of them. 2 would have been fine. So let's put some parsley in here. These are parsley seeds if you've never seen those before. Just sprinkle some on the top of these. Oh, I was gonna plant tarragon. That was the other thing I was gonna get. Okay, we'll grab some after we plant the habaneros. So we'll put those guys right here. I knew I was forgetting something. Tarragon. Okay, and some habaneros. My habaneros died on me this year, so we'll try them out this way. See if we have a little more success. Haven't really been too successful in growing habaneros. I've tried them for the last 3 years, and each year I get 3 or 4 peppers, but that's about it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Try them in aquaponics, hydroponics. Okay, so we'll just put, they tend to not sprout very well. So we'll put 4 in each cell, and then 4 in this one, with the hopes that 1 in each one of these cells will sprout, and then we can pick the strongest one out. So we'll plant 8 seeds and we'll hope for 1 of them. It's really all I need. I'm sure we'll get more than 1 though. I never get 100% germination with habanero though. Usually it's something like 70 or 80%. Okay, there we go. And let me go grab tarragon for these last 2. Well, that disappoints me. I must have planted all my tarragon this year and none of it grew because I don't have any more tarragon seeds. So we'll plant some dill. My dill this year was fantastic success. I grew so much dill this year, but it's so hot and they're all full grown, so they're all dried up and died. So it'd be nice to have some more fresh dill. So we'll plant some dill in these ones. And just sprinkle a few seeds in here. This stuff grows really, really well, so I don't want to waste seeds. That's probably more than enough. I really only want 1 plant, so actually, let's pick some of these back out. That'll be plenty. Can I do this? Not working very well. I used to not like dill very much. My grandma grew it in her garden all the time, and I always thought it smelled so weird. And then a few years ago I went to Russia, and they had dill growing everywhere in the parks, in the city plazas, on the sides of buildings. It was everywhere and it smelled so good. And they put it in all their food, and man, soups, potatoes, salads, bread. I mean, you name it. They put dill in it, and man, I grew a taste for it. So every year now, since I got back from Russia, I plant boatloads of this stuff because I love it so much. I put it in my ramen, I put it on my potatoes, I put it in everything I can. It's so good. So if you haven't tried dill, I encourage you to get a liking for it. Okay, there we go. We're all planted up. And we are not going to label these because all these seeds are so unique, I'll be able to tell them apart. We're not planting a whole garden right now, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay. And I will save this. And actually, let's just dump this out. I don't need to save this one. There's no point. I can put this back away. I can use this another time. Okay, there we go. So I will go set these outside in the sun with some water, and we will come back and check on them in about 2 weeks when our clones are done. And what we're going to be doing with these in an upcoming video is we are going to be building these. Is that all on camera? Move that up a little bit. There we go. So what this is my first time building a true hydroponic system. I've been an avid gardener for many, many years, and I garden conventional in-ground, and I garden aquaponics as well. Actually, I'll probably put a clip in here so you guys can see my aquaponics setup. I've been using my aquaponics setup for a few years now, and it's worked really, really well. But I wanted to try something new. So this is the simplest hydroponic method that you can grow in. It's what's called a cracky system. Now, it's definitely not the best hydroponic system to grow in. There's big disadvantages to growing in it. Predominantly the fact that your water doesn't get oxygenated. So how this system works is your plants just hang in a bowl full of nutrient solution. And remember one of our previous videos we made the scale? So we'll use that scale to mix up our nutrient solution. And we'll go through how to build these in a future video. But I wanted to show you what we're working towards with our scale and with the cloning and with all these seeds we just started. What we're going to do is we're going to build a full mini garden for our kitchen with this kind of a setup. This is a little bay leaf plant, also known as bay laurel. And you've probably used bay leaves before, so that's what this plant is right here, and it's starting to do really good. I transplanted it into the hydroponic system about 3 weeks ago now, and it's doing really good. So I wanted to experiment with some other plants. I wanted to see if I could grow beans. I don't know if you can. I'm sure you can. You can grow pretty much anything in hydroponics. Herbs grow really well. Basil grows really well in hydroponics. Spinach and lettuces grow really well. I have some new varieties of spinach seeds coming, so we'll plant some of those up when I get those as well. And so my whole purpose of doing hydroponics is, number one, we can keep getting some of these fresh herbs and fresh plants that bolt in the summer, like spinach. It's really hard to grow spinach here because it gets to be about 105, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't like the heat. Same with dill. So we can grow these inside under our indoor grow lights during the summer and have continual harvests of some of these plants. And another thing that we can do with these is they're mobile. So we can put them outside, we can put them on the counter, we can put them under grow lights. It doesn't really matter. So we'll talk about kind of the advantages of why I went with this method of designing a cracky system. I've never seen anybody kind of pull these elements together. So we'll go through that in a future video. And we'll kind of talk about why I designed my setup like this, what the advantages are, and what my long-term plans are for this. But that's a long way of saying this is where we're going with this channel for the next couple videos. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe.